My father wanted me to follow in his footsteps as a hunter.
Please.
But I set my aspirations a bit higher. He never complained.
Speak only to Emperor. Trust no one else.
Anything. As long as I get to fight. Did you need something?
I'm on my way to Solitude to join the Legion. The United Empire is better for everyone.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend?
That'll teach you.
My job is to serve the Jarl, not waste time talking with travelers.
You don't look so good. Are you feeling... right? Ours is the only family left that truly cares what happens to Winterhold.
Talos guide you.
Winterhold might yet thrive if that college had never been built.
I find your wolfish grin unsettling.
I'm sorry, could you describe the smell?
This horrible monster was turned inside out and then exploded.
Unless I'm just trying to have a quiet drink.
It was a
here,
minor
all right?
miscalculation. I've already corrected.
My pa says
The
elves
mages
are
don't
bad
let
and
us
not
go
to
into
trust
college.
us.
They
What's your
said it's
business
not-
here in
People have a
Winterhold?
problem with your college now, Mark.
I've really missed traveling like this. Walking the breadth of
Should have
Skyrim
known.
has always filled
Not
my
that it
heart
matters
with
anymore. No one bothers coming to Winterhold for any other reason. Winterhold has lost much of its history, and with that much of its power. I aim to change that. I've heard rumors of the resting place of the Helm of Winterhold. The very same helm that Jarl Hansa wore in the First Era. Hansa was in line to be High King of Skyrim, you know. Having that might get the ear of the other holds, and give me some authority. Good. I'll have a sum of gold waiting for your return. Good day.
Yes, what is it? Carlia. Then she's finally found it. Do you have Gallus's journal? A problem? Let me see it. Ah, this is just like Gallus. A dear friend, but always too clever for his own good. He's written all of the text, in the Falmer language? No. However, I know someone who might. The court wizard of Markarth, Calselmo, may have the materials you need to get this journal translated. A word of warning. Calselmo is a fierce guardian of his research. Getting the information won't be easy. Besides the fact that there are only a handful of people in Tamriel that even recognize the language, I'm fairly certain he was planning some sort of a heist that involved a deep understanding of the Falmer language. Sadly, we never had the opportunity to speak about the details. Ironically, I pointed him in the same direction I pointed you, to Markarth and Calselmo. I'm only hoping whatever means he used to learn the language will still be available to you. He was a dear friend of mine, and a surprisingly astute pupil of academia. I was devastated when he was killed. I suppose that risk always coexisted with his line of work. I just never thought his luck would run out.
When I drew Grimsever,
For the thrill, of course. He was quite clear that he felt more in his element climbing through a window rather than hunched over a dusty tome. Yes, quite an amusing anecdote, actually. I caught him trying to break into my laboratory. I was about to show him the error of his ways when he made a curiously astute comment about my research notes. I was astounded, and in turn it led to a conversation. Who would have imagined it would lead to such a strong friendship? In the time before man, they were known as the Snow Elves. They lived in the sunlight and had a very prosperous society. Like the Altmer? Yes, I would say their culture quite possibly rivaled our own. The Nords went to war with the Falmer in the First Era, killed them by the thousands to drive them from their snowy homeland. The Falmer retreated underground and forged an uneasy alliance with the dwarves who ended up betraying them. This betrayal made them what they are now, horrible, blind monstrosities with a burning hatred of any but their own kind. Why shouldn't I? The Falmer have killed more than a fair share of my acquaintances. They're animals. They show absolutely no pity or remorse. If you wish to learn more about them, you're welcome to my tome on the subject. Should be on my table. Calselmo is stubborn as a mule. Be careful when you speak to it.
Unless you're bringing me another round, you can just keep...
Ranmir beg a drink from you yet? That's gold waste. He owes this tavern enough coin to burn it down, build it back up, then burn it down again just for laughs. He's had some troubles in his life, but I can't have him drinking here without at least paying back some of the coin he owes. Go right ahead. He just might be sober enough to listen to you. It's not much, but we get by. Very little money passes through Winterhold anymore, but if there's one thing you can count on, it's folks needing a drink now and then. You mean the inn or Winterhold? Suppose it's the same answer either way. Winterhold's fallen on hard times, to say the least. Most folk packed up and left years ago. A few of us are either too stubborn or too crazy to go, so we do our best to make a living.
It's exhilarating. Perhaps it's because of my Nord blood, but there's something about it that makes me feel alive.
All right, then.
If there's anything you need, if you've business with the college, you're welcome to stay here. It's where I'm afraid there's not much to be said. Winterhold is hardly what it used to be. You can talk to Birna if you need to buy anything. He doesn't have much, but could certainly use a coin. And then there's our little inn. Most of the business we get is from folks here to visit the college, though even that's dried up some.
The mages don't let us go into college. They said it's not safe in there. Asser says
I'll
it's
sell
called
just about
because the
anything if
college
it's worth my
wants
time.
bad things
Keep that in mind, will
The
you?
mages I've seen look nice.
Very funny. I'm sure you've noticed that Winterhold isn't exactly overflowing with people. So I'll sell whatever I can. If it's worth putting a price on, you can bet I'll do it. I've been burned a few times, made a few bad deals, but mostly I come out on top. Wasn't by choice, I can tell you that. Options were in short supply. Ranmir and I grew up here, and nearly any money I make, he drinks away. Without the coin to pack up and leave, I decided to take to trading. Yeah, it was stupid of me. I shouldn't have believed the story and just refused the trade. But I didn't, and now I'm stuck with this worthless junk. Some line about this clothing in Ingol Barrow. He said it was worth more than its weight in gold if I took it back there. Something about placing it back in Ingol's chamber, I don't know. What was I thinking? Even if it were true, I'm not setting foot in some ancient tomb filled with who knows what. I do what's necessary. Yeah, I shouldn't have believed the story. Something about placing it... What was I thinking? I don't even care anymore. You want to check it out? Fine. I'll sell you the thing for 50 gold, and then it's your problem. Fine, here you go. You get killed on account of this thing, it's not my fault. Got it? But I suppose if it does actually turn out to be worth something, let me know, will you? Walking the breadth of Skyrim has always filled my heart with excitement.
I don't... My days at the college are long behind me, but I prefer to stay... So you wish to master the arcane arts? No. Gods no, not for years. I left Winterhold for some time, and returned to stay here at the inn. I still have research that keeps me busy, and being here in Winterhold ensures I have access to former colleagues. All right, then. Dagor and I have an understanding. He gives me privacy, and I make sure my experiments don't blow up
Unless you're
his ear.
bringing me an... Who are you to say what I should do? I'll pay her back when I'm ready. You're right. What would my forefathers think if they knew I wasn't paying my debts? Tell Harren I'll bring her the gold I owe. Got any ale or mead? Until next time.
The mages don't let us go into
Just say the word.
They
Thank you.
said it's not
He's not a
safe.
bad man, just bad with his coins and his drink. My husband Dagger could tell you stories there. I have a couple of Ranmir's things that he traded to us back when he was still paying regularly. I say you've earned them. All right, then.
professor says his pa says the college makes
I don't
lots
deal
of
with any
magnets.
college applicants these
The
days,
mages
so
are still
don't
looking-
bother. Asking.
I'd be a lot warmer and a lot happier with a belly full of meat.
Cross the bridge at your own peril. The way is dangerous, and the gate will not open. You shall not gain entry.
My father wanted me to follow in his footsteps as a hunter. But I set my aspirations a bit higher.
Forgive me.
He never complained.
Most who arrive here do so because they have heard of the college beforehand. This is the College of Winterhold, a safe haven for mages in Skyrim, a place of wisdom and arcane knowledge. I am here to assist those seeking the wisdom of the college. And if, in the process, my presence helps to deter those who might seek to do harm, so be it. The more important question is, why are you here? Perhaps. But what is it you expect to find within? Ah, the immortal plane. It is said to be the source of all magic. This is a noble goal, indeed. It would seem that the college has what you seek. The question now is, what can you offer the college? Not just anyone is allowed inside. Those wishing to enter must show some degree of skill with magic. A small test, if you will. You know, I think you're right. I think you'll be a superb addition to the college. Welcome, apprentice. I'll lead you across the bridge. Once you're inside, you'll want to speak with Mirabelle Irvine, our master wizard. Please, follow me. Winterhold's glory days may lie behind it, but the college lives on.
I'm no fan of the sun.
No matter what, we are the only group left in Skyrim dedicated to the study of the arcane. There are others who study, to be sure, but they do so in private and often in secret. Certainly. Destruction spells come in different forms, each useful for various purposes. Concentration spells can be cast immediately, though they're weaker. Good for a tight spot and less costly if you miss. You'll also need to decide whether to devote yourself to a single type of spell. Focusing solely on flame spells will make them more powerful, but you may find yourself at a disadvantage against foes immune to fire. I can teach you, but I won't be held responsible for what you do with the knowledge. Mirabelle will be waiting.
I believe I've made myself rather clear.
I think the college is due for a change in
Yes,
leadership.
of course.
I'm simply trying to understand the reasoning behind the decision.
You may be used to the
If you're
Empire
working on any
bowing to your every
experiments,
whim, but I'm
please
afraid you'll
clean up
find
after
that Balmor
yourself.
received no such treatment here. You are a guest of the college, here at the pleasure of the Archmage. I hope you appreciate the opportunity.
Just like anywhere
Welcome
else,
to the college.
it's all about who you know.
Another new student.
No me.
I'm surprised at how many of you there are lately. Well, first you'll need these. While you're not required to wear them, you may find them more to your liking than your current clothes. I'll give you a brief tour, and then we'll get you to your first class. Are you ready to begin? Wonderful. Please follow me, and don't wander off. The College of Winterhold has been a fixture in Skyrim for thousands of years. The prominent feature here is the Hall of the Elements. It's our primary location for lectures, practice sessions, and general meetings. The Arcanium is located above the hall, and the Archmage's quarters above that. While technically in charge of the college, the Archmage's responsibilities often keep him occupied. Thus, I run the day-to-day operations. Now, if you'll please follow me, I'll show you the living quarters. Unfortunately, we've had to implement more stringent entry procedures due to some problems with the local Nords. We don't anticipate any real violence, but it never hurts to be prepared. Our newest members are housed here, in the Hall of Attainment. I'll ask that you please keep your voice down while inside, as others may be working on research or delicate experiments. Now I'll show you to your quarters. You're going to be sharing space with your fellow apprentices, who you'll meet shortly. This is where you'll be staying. This bed and desk are yours. Please try and be considerate of others. Now, let's go back to the Hall of the Elements, where most of the members gather for lectures and study sessions. After I finish showing you the grounds, we can talk.
People say Skyrim is one of the most dangerous places in Tamriel.
After I finish showing you the grounds...
It's magnificent, and I'm proud to call it home.
Initially, you'll be learning from Tolfdir, one of our most esteemed wizards. Tolfdir is likely already addressing the new apprentices. Go on in, and if you have any problems, let one of our senior members know.
Another new apprentice, I see. Are you of the sort that believe you're here to change the world? Or are you only in it for yourself? I assure you that I shall be watching you, all of you, very closely. I am an advisor to the Archmage. The Thalmor wish to promote relations with your college. I am at the Archmage's disposal if he requires advice. Perhaps not as often as he should. In time, I believe he will be more trusting.
Welcome, welcome. We were just beginning. Please. Stay and listen. So, as I was saying, the first thing to understand is that magic is, by its very nature, volatile and dangerous. Unless you can control it, it can and will destroy you.
Sir, I think we all understand that fairly well. We wouldn't be here if we couldn't control magic.
Of course, my dear, of course. You all certainly possess some inherent natural ability. That much is not being questioned. What I'm talking about is true control, mastery of magic. It takes years, if not decades, of practice and study.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get started.
Skyrim is one of the most dangerous places.
Please, please. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Eagerness must be tempered with caution, or else disaster is inevitable.
But we've only just arrived here. You've no idea what any of us are capable of. That gives us a chance to show you what we can do.
You've been quiet so far. What do you think we should do? Well, your classmates certainly seem to disagree with you.
Oh, don't listen to him. We can do it. Just give us a chance.
All right, let's settle down. I suppose we can try something practical. In continuing with our theme of safety, we'll start with wards. Wards are protective spells that block magic. I'll teach you all a ward, and we'll see if you can successfully use it to block spells, all right? Would you mind helping me with the demonstration? Are you at all familiar with ward spells? Well, then this should be no problem at all for you. Now, if you'll just stand right over there, I'll cast a spell at you, and you block it with the ward. Here we go. Over there, please, just opposite me. Wouldn't want any else in the way. Now, cast the ward spell and keep it up. Keep your ward up, or else this won't work. I don't want to hurt you. Over there, please, just opposite me. Wouldn't want anyone else in the way. Now, hold still. Excellent work. Well, I think this is an excellent start. I'd like you all to continue practicing with wards, please. I think perhaps we're ready to begin exploring some of the various applications of magic throughout history. The college has undertaken a fascinating excavation in the ruins of Sawthorn nearby. It's an excellent learning opportunity. I suggest we meet there in a few hours and see what awaits us inside. That's all for now. Thank you. Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people. You give an old man hope. I can certainly share a bit of what I know. Take care now.
New here too, eh? It's good to see another Nord. I feared I'd be the only one. Almost doesn't feel like Skyrim, being so far away from the rest of the world here. Magic is shunned by most. If it can't be swung over your head and used to crack skulls, most Nords want nothing to do with it. Magic is seen as something for elves and weaker races. Until next time. College is a bit of an oddity in Skyrim. Magic isn't something that's looked upon fondly here. Nords don't trust magic or those that use it. Made it difficult for me growing up. I'd better get going.
You are new, yes? Have you mastered the expert-level destruction spells yet?
Never been a sellsword. Never traded my skills for pay.
This is good. But Jezargo will know them first. It is good to finally be around mages who may be able to keep up with Jezargo. Oh yes, Jezargo hopes to find things that will make him a more powerful mage here. Hopefully small things that fit inside pockets and will not be noticed if they are missing. There is much for Jezargo to be sure of. There is skill in magic, there is charm, and there is a strong will. Jezargo will be successful. Of this there is no doubt. Swift hunting.
You are now in the Arcanium, of which I am in charge. It might as well be my own little plane of oblivion. Disrupt my Arcanium, and I will have you torn apart by angry Atronachs. Now, do you require assistance? If you're feeling adventurous, I'm always looking for someone to procure valuable books from some more dangerous locations. Ah, some other time, if you're feeling adventurous. Well, all right, here. I scribbled down the last place I'd heard about. Check it out, but be careful. As a matter of fact, there are. Have you ever heard of Shalador? Immensely powerful mage, back in the First Era. Had an understanding of magic few have ever matched. He holed himself up in Labyrinthian and devoted all his time to research and study. But more than you would imagine possible. Since then, his writings have been scattered all over Skyrim, but are little use to anyone who can't translate them. I'm one of the few who can. I've heard whispers of more of his work having turned up. If you can track it down, it may prove useful to all of us. Of course I do. If I didn't, most of these books would have been burned to ashes or dissolved to nothing before the Third Era. Mages need to be reminded to be careful around research materials. A mage is only as good as what he knows. I try to make sure as much knowledge is available as possible. We've been keeping this collection since the Second Era. Books have come and gone during that time, but it's mostly intact. Assorted books, scrolls. I'm sure you'll find something useful. Fight well.
I can't wait to see who succeeds Mirabelle. I've no doubt she'll be promoted to Archmage at some point. Certainly a few of my colleagues aren't quite as talented as they'd like to believe.
You can see me? Confound it all, I was quite sure I was invisible. Or at least transparent. Oh my, that's quite a difficult question. Never underestimate the ability to influence others. Whether they're friends or foes, they're almost all susceptible to illusion spells. They can turn the tide of a battle in a moment's notice. There are also spells that help in avoiding conflict altogether. Invisibility is tricky to master, but exceptionally useful.
My father wanted me to follow in his footsteps as a hunter.
I shall explain to you the
But I
mysteries
had my
of the
aspirations
Outer
a bit higher.
Realms.
He never complained. I miss him.
There may be a matter in which your skills could be useful. The various points of focus for magic energies around the college have become polluted and need cleansing. Very well. These specially enchanted gloves will allow you to delve directly into the focal points for these energies. Go to each focal point and remove whatever impurities you may find there. Return the gloves to me when you have finished. Please exercise caution. This is not a procedure without possible consequences. Mm-hmm.
If you require assistance with summoning techniques, please let me know. If you would, please also contain your summons to the college grounds. The locals do not need to be agitated further by Atronachs roaming their town. The summoning of undead is even less advisable outside the college. I sure know. Those archaic policies died out with the Mages Guild, and were never enforced here. Necromancy, as any other type of magic, is a tool to be used. Of course, non-mages may not see it that way, so we don't go around flaunting it. I'll teach you some of what I know, but be careful. Mm-hmm.
Enchanting services. I need some more supplies. Can you help out with that? I'm running low on greater soul gems. 10 more would keep me stocked for a bit. So you do. Thank you. This will help quite a bit. You've already learned all I could
You should have
teach you.
seen me at the height of my adventuring career. I was fearless and took too many risks. But that's what it was all about. I've never been a sellsword. Never traded my skills for pay. I've always ventured on my own terms.
Please don't bother the Arch. If there are any problems, let me know.
It's
my
lies.
job to keep things
all of
running
it.
smoothly.
I don't care what she told you. It's all lies. No? Well, then she hasn't gotten to you yet. But she will. And don't you believe a word of it. My problem with her? She's the one who has a problem with me. She's threatened by me, by my skill as a wizard, by my elegance and posture, by my superior good looks. But she is not going to get the better of me. Oh no, I won't let it get to me one bit. That's what she's after. She's trying to undermine my confidence, make me doubt myself. Well, it won't work, I tell you.
Don't trust that one. He's up to something. Most here are up to something, of course, but in his case, It's not good. I haven't figured it out yet, but I will. He is rather handsome, though, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. If you're working on any experiments, please clean up after yourself.
Please don't bother the Archmage unless it's absolutely necessary.
There are few places where one can pursue my type of work without fear of persecution.
Yes, they have.
Now, if you'll
I can feel the difference already. But, of course, I'm far more in tune with these sorts of things than most. Thank you. I appreciate your assistance.
I love the cold air. It's exhilarating. Perhaps it's because
All
of
right,
the
then.
cold blood, but there's something about it that...
You are relatively new here, are you not? I have noticed you, but we have not spoken. Sir? How quaint. I am Savos Arin, Archmage of the College of Winterhold. I am quite content to see nearly any aspect of magic explored and investigated here. But I do not and will not approve of any research or experiments that cause purposeful harm to your fellow members of the college.
Worthy of research.
Are we
Despite
clear?
Many of the notes I've had left in my bed.
Not often, no. Some risks must be taken, to be sure. I am simply trying to avoid untimely deaths. We also must make an effort to avoid worsening what Skyrim thinks of us.
Firstly, the ability to repel the undead cannot be ignored. Skyrim is well known to be full of these Draugr, ancient Nor warriors who cannot find peace.
I've seen documents dating back to the late Second Era. Beyond that, it's hard to say.
relied on
Events in the last several hundred years resulted in a significant loss of our history, I'm afraid.
How can anyone forget wards? They have become essential to any mage working in dangerous situations. They are counted upon every bit as much as candlelight or invisibility.
The Great Collapse, as it has come to be known. An unfortunate natural disaster that ravaged the area. The college fared far better than the city of Winterhold, but it was not left untouched.
I truly hope that these points actually sink in.
No one is sure of the cause. Some believe the eruption of Red Mountain had far-reaching consequences that were only felt years later. I know there are some who have blamed the college, said that we were responsible. I assure you this is not the case. The Sea of Ghosts practically came alive. No one was expecting it. Monstrous waves battered the shore for weeks on end. Winterhold was ancient and weathered, but it couldn't withstand the sea's fury. Entire districts of the city were lost overnight. The waves receded in time, but the damage was irreversible. Most residents of Winterhold abandoned what was left of the city. The college survived, and so here we remain. Purpose? I should think it's self-evident. Magic is a true power, not something to be shunned by commoners or treated as an amusing diversion by politicians. It shapes worlds, creates and destroys life. It deserves proper respect and study. The college is a place where we can focus on that, without the pressures of the world weighing down on us. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I have important things on my mind. Your concerns are not among them.
Please don't bother the Arch... unless it's absolutely necessary.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. It's from Falk Firebeard at the Blue Palace. Ooh, you've got friends in high places. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Can I help you with anything else?
My favorite drinking buddy. Let's get some mead.
If there's anything you need, just let me know. If you've business with the college, you're welcome to stay here. It's where most of our business comes from, in fact.
I've never been a sellsword. Never traded my skills for pay. I've always adventured on my own terms.
All right, then. What are you doing that for?
The mages don't let us go into college. They said it's not safe in there.